What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with a doubleheader this Friday night. We're going to cover the Lakers later today, so stay tuned and locked in for that. The Nets ended up picking up the W against the Sixers. I was a little bit of I was really disappointed with the Brooklyn Nets again. This is a game that they did everything to lose and they ended up winning because at the end of the day, the Philadelphia 76ers just literally flopped and collapsed. Danny Green with the air balls, Joel Embiid with the turnovers and missing the layup and all this free throw missing and everything. Everything that could have went wrong literally went wrong for the Sixers. And you thought that it wouldn't happen. You thought the Sixers would be able to win this game pretty easy just because everything they wanted to do was working. Steph Curry was making his shots. Joel Embiid was picking his spots and scoring throughout quarters. Tobias Harris was hitting his pull-up jumpers, pull-up threes, hitting his little push shots. And it looked like Court Miles was coming out getting buckets and hitting threes and hitting shots and making plays. And it just looked like Maxey hit some shots, missed some easy ones. It was a little rushed, too giddy, too happy. And he missed some layups and missed some floaters and missed some threes, but he made some shots too and really kept the aggressive pressure on the Nets defense. The Nets defense to me was terrible. They allowed a lot of open shots, a lot of lack of communication, telling guys where they should be, where they need to be. Also, just giving up. I feel like they gave up on a lot of possessions where they just allowed the Sixers to take the shot, get a shot, or get to their spots, and pretty much conceded it. You're not going to win a championship playing defense like that. And they just had a lack of effort. Same problems I had with James Harden against the Bucks was the same problems he had this game. Really disappeared a lot and really was just slow and lackadaisical. Like Charles Barkley favorite words, like he really didn't seem like he cared enough. He wasn't really pushing it. He really didn't have that kill mode. It kind of seemed like the Nets are just coasting. And it's sad to say that because it's just the first two games of the season, and you basically could have been down 0-2 to start the season just because they just don't care enough. They don't play hard enough. They don't try enough. And their offense isn't what we thought. You know, Patty Mills has been a help for them, but it's a lot of guys on their bench that don't even play. LaMarcus Aldridge was huge off the bench, giving them 20 points, getting some rebounds, hitting some mid ranges, giving them some decent post defense. But this team has a lot of problems. Still, Nicholas Claxton is still raw. Not a great rim protector. Not great with his hands. He fumbles the ball a lot. Doesn't go up strong. Takes too long to go up when he is in the paint, making it easy to rotate and contest or block the shot. And just very undisciplined defensively and offensively. You can still see that he's young. You can still see that he's raw. You can still see that Nicholas Claxton is a little bit away from being a starter. I don't think he's a legitimate starter in this league, to be honest. And he's been pretty much proven it against good players, good teams. He just don't have the IQ or the polish that you need to have from a consistent guy you can rely on. And he just doesn't have it all yet. He just now started getting real minutes. He just now started playing against real competition and meaningful games, but he's not ready just yet. Maybe they'll stay with him and let him learn on the fly and take the growing pains that comes with it. But Nicholas Claxton is raw on both ends of the court and has low IQ and just has bad basketball knowledge, for his age. It makes sense. For his experience, it makes sense. But for a team that's trying to win the championship, I don't think Nicholas Claxton can be a starting center on a championship team unless, Kyrie comes back and just lights the world on fire and stays healthy for the season and for the entire playoffs. When was the last time that actually happened? That was so long ago that might not even help because it might not even be a reality. And even with Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant just don't look unstoppable right now. You look at the points that he's been putting up, they've been there. He's going to score. He's going to get his shot attempts. He shot 20 shots. He's going to get his chances. He's going to get his opportunities. But he just don't look like that dominant. I can do, get, and feel whatever I want to. It seems like he's working harder. He's taking tougher ones. And even the ones that he normally make, they just not going in automatic like they usually do. Maybe it's age. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's just getting comfortable with his teammates. Maybe it's just forcing up some of them or rushing them. Whatever it is, Kevin Durant don't look like that dominant guy currently. The numbers will say different, but he even it hasn't even been hyper efficient in the last two games either, and that could be something that he can build upon. He didn't start the season off great last season either, but he was able to pick it up when it mattered most, especially in the playoffs. Maybe that happens again this year. But even James Harden was in the MVP candidacy last year for the Brooklyn Nets because he played that well. He just doesn't look like he has the same motivation. It doesn't look like he has the same energy or effort at all. His passing is still slow. His movement is still slow. He's just coasting right now, and I really don't like it, and I'm really not feeling it. And even offensively, he doesn't look like that unstoppable guy. Maybe it's because he's older. Maybe he's still not 100%, which he has admitted. And maybe that's why he doesn't have the burst or the acceleration that he used to have because of the injury, which would make sense because he was legitimately injured. Plus, it was a lower body injury. Plus, he wasn't even 100% when he came back, and that could have made it worse, which I thought that he shouldn't have came back against the Bucks, but he did anyway. And maybe these are the side effects. He's late on his floaters. He's not finishing at the rim great, and he's also not getting the separation. He's doing a lot of fumbling, a lot of dropping the passes, dropping the dribbles, and just becoming a little bit easier and more containable than he normally is. And that's unfortunate because they need him to be a superstar, and he's playing at an all-star level, not at a superstar level. James Harden is not even playing at a top 10 level, which he was last year. And that's going to be unfortunate if you're going to pay this guy $229 million and he's not even a superstar anymore. He's still going to be effective. He's still going to be better than any other player that you can put in front of him, but he's not going to be the best Harden anymore. That might be a reality for this Nets team, unfortunately. But they traded for him. He was great when they did get him. Now you just gotta be thinking about that when you give him this extension. Will he really be worth superstar money at this point in his career? Especially that it's not just this season that's coming up. It will also be multiple years after that. And if he's gonna play like this, I don't know if I'm in a rush to pay him 229 million. Honestly, if he's gonna play like this version of James Harden and then consistently get worse as he gets older under that contract, I'm not rushing to do that. But the Nets, I didn't like their effort. I didn't like their energy. I didn't like their fight. I didn't like their will. And ultimately, they got helped by the Sixers airballing, making mistakes, rushing, turning the ball over. And they should take this W with happiness just because they had a chance to go down 0-2, but they find out a way to go 1-1. And we'll see if they come out differently, knowing that they almost got beat twice. Maybe that pushes them to play better together. Still not liking the Nets bench as much as I thought I would. Not really liking their offense either. They don't look like this unstoppable force with a lot of shooters and a lot of screen setters and a lot of space. It looked good on paper, but watching them actually play, they just don't look like the team that I thought that they would be in these first two games. They still got time to figure it out. The Sixers won their first game. They looked pretty good throughout this game. The inside was doing well. The outside players were playing well. They just literally collapsed and forgot what got them the lead and what got them winning the entire game for the most part, as they never really trailed the entire game until the fourth quarter, which was at the end of the fourth quarter. And that's when the Nets was able to finish them off with the free throws and the steals, was able to take advantage of Philly just choking. They choked in front of the home crowd and blew a game that they should have won. And now they have to go out there and try to get back above 500, unless we can be looking at a team like the Sixers going down 1-2. But this Nets team hasn't been the juggernaut that I thought that they would be, and I don't think that they will be. You know, they still might be one of the top teams in the East, but they just might not be a juggernaut. A lot of that does have to do with Kyrie not playing at all. You paying this man a lot of money not to play at all. That really does hurt because this is not the team that I thought that they'd be because Kyrie's not playing at all. But also, this team still is deep. This team does still have talent. They still do have veterans that know how to play, know their role, and also know how to fit in with the squad. But they just haven't played well together. Just haven't shot the ball well. Really haven't defended well. And KD and James Harden still don't look like the superstars that we know them to be just right now. But you'll take a 1-1 start, especially because you should have lost this game too. But all you can really focus on is trying to figure out a way to iron out these things, get things under control, get guys playing on the same level or higher, and really try to build upon what you did this game and just have a better third game and hopefully they can, show us what they really are, instead of the team that we waiting for them to be. And it's unfortunate to say that, but that's the reality of this Nets team right now. They look like a good team. They don't look like a great or championship team right now. Maybe that changes within 2 weeks. Maybe that changes when Kyrie comes back. Maybe that changes 2 months from now. Maybe this changes in the playoffs. We don't know. I only can judge them based off the 2 games I've seen. But right now, they don't look like that championship team that we thought that they might have been right now. They really don't. They just look like a good team that's going to be in the playoffs, and that's about it. This look like a first or second round exit team in the Eastern Conference, and that's unfortunate because when you look at the payroll, you look at the names, you look at the talent, they should be more than that, but they just haven't played like it. They just haven't looked like it, and honestly, they might not be it. So we gotta wait till things fall in place. We gotta wait till things iron out and see what this team really is going to be. 2, 3 months from now, when they have a lot of chemistry, they get on the same page, and guys playing to what they standards are. And until then, it's going to be a question mark around this Nets team. Other than that, I'll be back to y'all talking about the Lakers later today against that game against the Suns. Honestly, I'm watching that game right now. They don't look that good either, but I kind of expected that with most of their roster being new, and I'll cover that later today. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Austin signing out. See y'all when the Lakers game is over. Enjoy the night.